I'm going to walk through a few things, and please join in, and or please stop me if you'd like me to shift directions. I just wanted to point out, if you all have spare time in your spare time to read, if you do that, if you like that, there are two books I recommend. I can't help myself from sort of putting a few of these things out. One is on resilience, which is our current the overarching focus beyond all that we're talking about in sustainability, all that we're talking about in conscious design, is resilience, because resilience is really resilience is the holistic view of all. Meaning we need to be thinking about what happens as we change, as the world around us changes. So on top of all these things about specifics of do a design, as we know, this particular year, we have faced an intense and immediate change happen with COVID. A high degree of turbulence affected our society around the world, very quickly. And now what we found is beyond that moment, that sort of crisis moment, that this is beginning to, happen all around the world and impact everybody in all sorts of ways. It's become a chronic, crisis. And so, as horrible as it is, it's kind of like a world's wake-up call to understand what resilience really means when you're designing things and doing things, when we're building as architects, as engineers, as planners, as contractors, constructors, we need to be thinking about how what we do adapts to change, and so that we can come through all these kinds of situations that we face, whether it's a virus, or whether it's a war, or it's an economic downturn, or maybe it's some of all. So two books. One is on resilience, and that's Resilient by Design, by author Joseph Fiksel, Fiksel. And the other one, which I haven't read yet, but I've just begun to, and that's The Biophilia Effect by Clemens Arvay, Arvay, The Biophilia Effect. And the biophilia effect is a very different idea than talking and dwelling on resilience and being prepared to change. The biophilia effect says, think about nature, be in nature. Nature has the ability to be more healing than the most powerful drugs that we've ever been able to create. So I bring that one up because, you're looking at a museum, you're part of this, you have this in this arboretum, you're looking at a building in nature. They're so connected to each other that it seemed to me that it would be, important to look at both collectively and understand just how important it really is. When we look at a building, we think, well, okay, particularly like I'm in California, our environment, other than today when I look out the window, which is full of smoke, actually, out my window, because of all the fires we have, usually California is a relatively comfortable place to live. Temperatures don't swing too greatly. You can have a lot of glass. You can have buildings that open and close. They can be very permeable. You don't need much in the way of systems. Really, you need a little heat at certain times of the year, and you need some cooling at certain times of the year. For us, it's really easy to say, well, design with nature and, be very passive. Where you are is a very different environment. And so you don't have the same opportunity, but you have that opportunity too. It's a matter of how you might look at it. So, you can look at nature through a building. You can look at nature as being something that you can experience by going in and out of the building. You can look at nature as part of the building, part of the program. And of course, as we experience buildings, we are in fact, walking into a building. We might be leaving our car and going into that building, but we're walking through, right? So all that's to say, I'm drawing big pictures here, and that's the way we look at our work and enjoy it. And whether it's a small project or a large project, that's our approach. And I think it's working well for us. And, really looking for always finding more opportunities to do that.